All right, we're starting a little bit in the middle 'cause they just kind of started their match uh, without a lot of warning. Okay. So we've got Lightbringer picks on both sides. We have a Zerda ban on both sides to go with it, so the Lightbringers don't suck. Gintoki pick over here, Gintoki ban over here. Jailer prioritizing the McLean ban because McLean's just not a fun unit to play against. So I can appreciate that. Does mean that you have to play against a Gintoki, which is very good. But Lightbringer typically does a good job of not just losing to Gintoki, so that should be fine. Can typically take a couple hits at least. All right, Sissy pick over here, so the Jailer has a healer. Banana does lose out on that. Looks like they're only running one healer, it's just the Rosin. So Banana probably very prepared to lose out on healers. That does make the Lightbringer a little bit weaker. Lightbringer is at least a tank that can function as just an offensive unit, right, as opposed to pure tank, so you're not as required to run a healer, but it's still nice to have healers with your tanks. There's a little bit of AoE already coming out from Jailer as well that the Lightbringer isn't going to help against, so Kyra does a good job against that. So maybe not a pure healer, but Kyra will be filling the role, right, keeping the AoE that Lightbringer can't help against from being overwhelming. And then Lightbringer, in a comp like this, Lightbringer's really just trying to take 2, maybe 3 hits and let the Gintoki and Lostum and whichever of these two gets picked to actually pop off. Yeah, it's definitely Matthew pick here. Yeah, Matthew pick to buff the Gintoki, and Wedum just doesn't do anything into Lightbringer. So we've got a whole bunch of DPS with a Kyra to prevent this Kelmo AoE from being too crippling. Jailer got a couple of assassins over here. Lostum's pretty decent on this map, I'd say. There's a scattering of good defensive terrain, but there's also a lot of water tiles that are obnoxious to get around. Kelmo can potentially help out with that if you like grapple onto the tile that Portal is on. Then I would assume you go through the portal. I don't actually know that interaction because I don't run either of those units. But Kelmo not really going to be very helpful for this Epsilon, right? I feel like this Kelmo is going to be more useful as a disengage tool rather than an engage tool with this particular setup. Kyra here is going to be pretty dangerous, honestly. A lot of these units are very physically bulky. Lightbringer helps make holy units physically bulky, but really does nothing to stop Kyra. I guess she has a little bit of anti-crit, right? So a little bit of crit chance reduction, which does hurt Kyra a lot. But even still, Kyra has a tendency to be very good. It will depend a bit on what type of Kyra this is. It should be a holy Kyra with the Lightbringer. That debate's kind of been settled since Lightbringer came out. But it depends if it's like True Cross versus Twilight Star, right? Twilight Star is going to be much better into the Lostum and is still pretty good into Kelmo. True Cross would be maybe a little bit better if it's Mage Kelmo, but it should be Holy Kelmo. And then just Mage troops. So I don't even know if True Cross is better there or not. This Sorks on the Kyra, more damage, less chance to crit. It's a trade-off. If you get your crits with Sorks, then you're going to do insanely more damage, but if you miss those crits, Baseless would have been better, basically. A lot of HP on the Lostum, as expected. Both these sissies should be stun immune. There's really no reason to run a different accessory on... Both these Lightbringers should be stun immune. There's no reason to run a different accessory on her. Right, it just kind of invalidates the Lostum. You have Riposte here versus the Quicksand. Right, this has a slightly higher multiplier than Riposte, but you do miss out on the crit chance, which can actually kind of be an issue on Lostums sometimes. Oh, these Lostums have a lot of skill investment. 529, 528. Bananatime's Lostum can comically stun Jailer's Lostum. Yeah, crit can sometimes be an issue on Lostum. I've seen Lostums that have a lot less skill investment. These are very high though, so they should not have issues. So you shouldn't really be losing out on crits by not bringing Riposte, I would imagine. This also has another important bit of utility where you can actually just hit the Lightbringer with it, right? It's an undispellable Moby down. So you can just hit Lightbringer, prevent her from guarding, and then sweep with Gintoki while she can't do anything about it. So that is something to keep in mind as well. Most of the time you will just use this to attempt an assassination though, right? Into opposing Lostum or opposing Epsilon. Opposing Lostum would probably be a very difficult target though. Far more likely that you go after the Epsilon. Especially with this Lostum not having any kind of buff. Do we have Strengthen here? No. Strengthen on neither. Not needed on Jailer's side, right? They have the buff from Epsilon here. A little bit odd that there's no Strengthen from Bananatime. Right, just to keep this Lostum dealing damage. It's really going to be much, much less useful without it. He does have a lot of HP here, so I would be surprised if he died to reflect damage. He should be okay against that. 15.48k. That's a very early portal. But this is for Lostum to retreat to, right? So the idea with this portal is Lostum goes, not this turn, but next turn can like come down here, hook to this terrain, make an attack on something around here, and then step up, hook to this portal, hook to this terrain, and then you go through the portal and you're back home. So it's just a way to make the slipperiest assassin of all time even more slippery. That's what that portal's there for. So yeah, that's what I was saying kind of at the start of this is more likely to be a disengage tool. Don't send the Lancer through the portal. Okay. You do have to watch out for this Kyra, though. I'm not sure if Kyra can actually zone out the Lostum, though, on this map. These numbers are hard to compare from out here. Also, this is a Twilight Star Kyra, so again, going to be very, very good at killing everything except for Sissy, right? Fixed Me and Sissy and Lightbringer are basically the only things that don't have to fear the Kyra. Looks like Bananatime is going to try and take advantage of turn priority here with this Kyra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right now, only threatening the Lostum, who can just retreat, but you know, Lostum really wants, again, Lostum wants to get here. Lostum wants to get a hook here, which means that he has to move to this tile. Right, he's not really wanting to retreat. Also, actually, this portal is working against Jailer here. Right, this portal's really clever for getting out, but the problem is that now you can't go in using this tile. Right, with this Kyra positioning, you could have actually hooked to this tile, walked forward to, and then hit the Kyra. But because the portal's here, if you hook to this tile, you're going to end up over here now. So Banana Time. That's actually a very smart kind of heads-up play by Banana Time to use Jailer's portal against him. And wow, we are just flipping the coin immediately. If this Lostrum gets crit, there is no way he's living. Right? You break his rights, and then you're double mage. He might not even need to get crit at that point. You don't have the full magic defense boost for the Sand Seas. You only get 20% here. And we're obviously forcing this issue. Because if Banana Time doesn't do something with the Kyra now, what Jailer's threatening is, okay, well then I'll just go in here and pick your Kyra or pick your Lostum. And here we go. 3C out. That actually was not Twilight. Twilight did not activate, and that's why that guy's still alive. How do you have 500 attack without a Twilight? This must be Odin. Okay, we as spectators don't get to see Covenants, so I think I got debated by Odin, and this is not Twilight, this is True Cross. Because yeah, if that was Twilight, then he lives this because of rights, right? Because he has that 40% damage reduction. You do not get to engage with Lostum, do you? Because you have to get to here or here, and you can't hook onto this tile, you're too far away. Yeah, the ball is very much in Jailer's court here. Banana Time, I guess you get to jump with Matthew, right? The heal did just go down, so Matthew can potentially jump in. Yeah, you could even like just run forward, jump here. You don't actually have to strike. You jump here. Assuming this Matthew is BB, you'll hit these 4 units, this being the important one for this current moment. And then you can just return away. Is just gonna move the Lostum. This Lostum's gonna be at pretty much full HP here. Yeah. So there's grapple. He gets basically all his troops back for doing that. I don't like that Lostum move. I think you had to just jump to. That lived. What? How did that live? That being said, it lived, but it has 104. Has 100 HP. Already used the 3C. So there's no way for this Kyra to heal, and she can't, like, take an AoE and then heal after taking the AoE because she has 100 HP. But also, how did that live? I still don't agree with this Lostum move, by the way. Still don't agree with this move. I still think Matthew should have jumped in, put some damage out now that the Sissy had already moved, and pressured the Lostum to stop him from going in the first place. Kyra living is very nice for Banana Time, so that's cool, I guess. I guess you can try and make something happen with Matthew where you go like maybe to here and then strike, but you're not going to get any extra distance by doing that. Right, so you can't really do much else with this Matthew and be able to jump back to guard. Now you could go hard with the Matthew, that's always an option. Right, you can go full send the Matthew. But you're jumping back to, this tile out of guard. Yeah, this Kyra being alive is actually a big deal for Banana Time, because what that means is that you can just kind of set up the Gintoki at some point, where you can try and abuse Gintoki's act again by just throwing away the useless Kyra. There's Matthew repositioning. Gonna move up here so he has access to these tiles for his Mech Knights, so he's a little bit more threatening. Still can't do too much though. Right, he still really has to strike to get anywhere, and this Vanguard is kind of right. Mercenary here is very much in the way of where Matthew would want to strike to, right? Because ideally you would want to like strike here, and then move to this tile and jump somewhere in here after these units have moved up a bit. But Mercenary just completely blocks that play. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So Lostum's kind of done for a little bit. He really needs to get his grapple back up. Well, I say a little bit, I mean a turn. This is Lostum. He has a 1-turn cooldown for crossing the entire map and failing to assassinate anyone, I guess. Yeah, so he does have a turn where he can't do anything. Adenkelmo would probably like to be able to click an AoE this turn where you like step into the portal, teleport here, and then while staying in guard, throw out a black hole. That being said, you do have to be a little bit careful with just randomly AoEing with the Gintoki on the other side of the field. Right, you don't want to wake the Gintoki up too early. Especially because any AoE kills Kyra now. So even if you only hit a couple units, if Kyra is in there, Gintoki's fully stacked. Speaking of, Gintoki ending his turn immediately so that if Kyra does happen to die, Gintoki gets the act again. Man, I'm still amazed that both of these units are alive. Knowing this isn't Tenyo's, I'm not surprised that this isn't alive. I'm surprised that this isn't alive. That one missing oh yeah, I didn't. That one missing Sansi actually ended up mattering, right? Lostum was at 90% HP, so he was missing exactly one soldier. He was missing exactly one soldier, and that cost him the kill on Kyra. Matthew jumping from here. I mean, you'll do some damage, you'll get some debuffs, but you are dead for this. Right, mass heal here. I'm assuming Inspire does not dispel a debuff, and that's why it's mass heal here. So that he can dispel both debuffs right now. And yeah, I mean, mass heal here, you get rid of both these debuffs. I guess this doesn't have that much int. Maybe this is a Tiamat Matthew. If it's a Tiamat Matthew, he's not dead. If it's not, he actually still might not be dead. This is actually a lot weaker than I thought it would be. So, I could definitely see Adenkelmo just barely whiffing the kill, especially with Warlocks as her troops instead of like berries. I do agree with the Warlock's choice here, by the way. That's not a criticism. Warlocks are definitely correct into Lostum, although I don't think you have enough HP to reflect out the Lostum. I still think they're the better choice. Because you might just live the Lostum, right? Lostum can't break your 100% reduction, assuming these are at 100%. And you do have Lightbringer giving you some extra defense as well. Lostum with no attack buff. I think it's very reasonable that Adenkelmo could just live Lostum from full. I wonder if this Adenkelmo is Scepter. I guess Lightbringer could move up the cover. So you do have to worry about Black Hole now. Right, Black Hole hitting Matthew, you can potentially get silenced on Matthew, would be very bad. Both players actually needlessly clicked a button last turn. Right, they both clicked Light Flow for no reason. Doesn't matter so much for Jailer because they have the Mass Heal to get rid of Matthew debuffs. Definitely could matter for Banana Time. The fact that you can't just dispel off whatever hits you from Black Hole. Right. I guess if you get silenced, you get silenced anyways. But still, I'm not... Unless... No, these are both 5-star. Or, excuse me, these are both 6-star. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of just clicking the button to click the button. I think you could definitely hold on to that skill until it actually, you know, does something. Ooh. I think we're going for Gintoki here, aren't we? This is Fireball in the Onenkelmo. She doesn't have an attack buff, though. But it is Fireball. The Gintoki only has 1 stack. You don't have any Tiamat happening. That feels like it should be in trouble. Goodbye, mercenary. Epsilon says thank you. Hey, Kong. Welcome in from your TSDL game. I'm guessing Chung won if it's over already. Because when I left, he was up 1-0 in pick ban. Yeah, we are... That's not who I expected to get fireballed this turn. Okay. We are just a little bit into this game. This is game 1, Banana Time Jailer. As you can see, not much has happened. We have had Kyra attempt to kill Lostum and fail, followed by Lostum immediately attempting to revenge kill the Kyra and also fail. A little bit worse for the Kyra as she has 100 HP now and will have 100 HP until she dies. But it was interesting that both of them didn't accomplish anything. This Kyra is not actually Twilight Star, despite having 550 attack. So she failed the Lostum, and then Lostum just didn't do any damage. And didn't kill Kyra. So now, I think Banana Time is really wanting this Kyra to just get bopped by a Onenkelmo AoE at some point to piss off Gintoki. But Jailer has been restraining themselves. Yep, there's Gintoki moving up once again, fishing for the act again when Kyra dies. At this point, Kyra can just kill herself on command. That's a little bit worse than getting killed. Sansee's skin so ugly. It's okay. I don't love it, I don't hate it. I think it's the hair. The hair is just kind of like, there's not a lot going on here. One, two, three, four, 5. This is a confident Gintoki because that is Epsilon range. That is Epsilon range under guard with a shield. That's a confident Gintoki. That's a Gintoki who thinks nothing bad can possibly happen to him. Even though there are 2 assassins and an act again. And Banana Time doesn't have a healer. This Gintoki is going to die. Surely this Gintoki is going to die. I mean, it's a 1-stack Epsilon, but there's also a Lostum behind it. Oh, and she got iced. Cool. It is dispellable. There is a healer. Thanks, Banana Time. Very cool. And now that she's iced, Lostum is going to go in for the kill because he can't get Reflect cheesed. But this Lostum is also going to fail. What is going on? He doesn't have the... No, he does have the bow, but he's Sand Seed, so his troops don't attack. Is that what happened with this one? I wasn't paying that much attention. I think that's what happened with this one as well. Yeah, that's why it was. They both did the same thing. They both went 3 range. That's why. That's why they both failed. Okay, acting in on the Auden Kelmo is a play. It's a play. There's still a tank here. If you AoE, you still kill the Kyra, which you still don't really want to do. I guess neither of these needed the act again to do anything. Yeah, you can black hole here. You will wake up the Gintoki if you black hole. Well, I guess you don't have to, actually. You could AoE down here and dodge the Kyra. Bow is so that troops attack at 2 range. Bow is so that troops attack at 2 range, and you get to use it at 3 range, and Faceless will attack at 3 range. And you get to use this skill at 3 range. Which this skill, troops always attack. Right, it's the assassin skills that troops don't attack. But if you're up against tankless, Bow is very nice for having 3 range on this skill. If you bring Faceless, then you do a lot with 3 range. Yeah, 3C and Air Slash let Sansee's attack at 3 range. Alright, well, we do just black hole the whole squad, so here's Gintoki. He is silenced, though, so sucks to be Gintoki. Thank you, Windows. Very cool. That is a bummer for Gintoki. That's a heal block, that's a heal block. That's a pretty good black hole, all in all. Passive block, pretty much irrelevant. But yeah, this Gintoki is not too pleased. Now you can just like bop this mercenary, get him a mirror proc and get rid of the silence, but well, here comes Epsilon. That's not gonna kill. Because now he's fully stacked. Yep. That being said, he can't heal himself because he's silenced. And there's a Lostum here. And he also just kind of walked forward. Well, actually, this Lostum can't do anything. This Lostum is... No, he is able to grapple there. Okay. Never mind. Yeah, goodbye, Gintoki. Alright. We will actually see a Lostum kill, even though he doesn't crit. And away goes the other assassin. And that will be the end of game 1. Do I still have to leave and rejoin? I probably still have to leave and rejoin. So yeah, the defining moment of that game was just Kyra failing to kill Lostum. And failing to kill by a pretty healthy margin, right? Lostum had like 7k HP left. It wasn't actually close, right? Kyra crit the troops and everything, and Lostum still was just fine. Because again, this isn't a Twilight Star on the Kyra, right? So that was just Last Rites doing Last Rites things. All right, we're gonna go ahead and handshake the Zerida bands while we both pick Lightbringer. Same ol', same ol'. Kyra's still a potato. Yeah, you really need exactly the right targets for Kyra. And what those targets are very dependent on what your Kyra is. Right? If this is a Twilight Star Kyra, then I have no doubt that Lostum would have died, right, to Sork's Kyra, especially with her critting the troops. But with it being, I don't know what it was, probably Holy Cross, True Cross, whatever that name is, right? With it being True Cross, yeah, that's not gonna kill a Lostum. Lostum's a very bulky boy. Speaking of Lostum, now he's on Banana's team. No, wait, he was here last game as well. So here he is again, I guess. True Cross is so Season 9. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not as useful anymore. There's not as many, especially with Odd and Kelmo being here. Everything that was a mage before is a holy unit now. So you don't really benefit from True Cross because it doesn't boost against holies, it boosts against mages. So yeah, you really just don't get any value out of it. I guess you get the healing, which is cool, but it's Pickbad going similarly to game 1. There is a D-Heart over here instead of a Gintoki. Gintoki last game was picked because the McLean was banned second. But it looks like Bananatime not really valuing the McLean, so just letting it get banned away. And once again, Bananatime, no healing. That's a lot of AoE magic. That's a lot of black holes. You do have the assassins to pressure them. So if the assassins can do their job, should be okay, but things can get out of hand really quick with a team comp like this. Is gonna pick up the Wedum over Matthew. That's odd. And we do know that this Sissy can handle Matthew relatively well. You can bring AoE Ham. Yeah, you can bring AoE Ham and get the heal blocks, right? Sissy can't do much against those heal blocks, so that can help out quite a bit. I guess neither of these units is particularly relevant. I think the Matthew was a little bit more valuable last time when the Gintoki was there to get a faction buff. But without Gintoki here, again, they're both not super valuable. It's just, this is a very nice map for Matthew, right? There's a lot of defensive terrain to play around. So you do tend to get a lot of free engages with Matthew on this map. But the Matthew also wasn't very impactful last game. So mixing it up a little bit, seeing if we can get something going with the Ham instead. Not a bad idea. Double black hole is going to be scary though. With no healing whatsoever. At least last game there was a Kyra who could like pretend to be a healer until she almost died immediately. Not the case this time around. There is an Azusa, who is just going to kind of get walled by Lightbringer. I guess Azusa is able to guard block the Lightbringer, so that is going to be relevant if it happens. She has a long way to walk to get there. But if you do get that guard block, then, you know, the mages will go crazy. Right, the 5 range mages. It is just Annihilation Ham. Huh. Okay. Sure, I guess. Based on stat lines, it looks like this is Odin again for Bananatime, so that means this is very much a Boots Ham. So this is Annihilation Boots Ham. Going to beat his face against a Lightbringer and then walk away sad afterwards. Right, he can't even like pressure units from pushing up too far because there's just a sissy mercenary there. Right, you just put a mercenary out here. Ham's not going to want to hit the mercenary. Lostum's not going to want to grapple in to hit the mercenary. Lucretia won't be able to hit the mercenary because you can have Lightbringer behind it. That's actually a single target Lucretia as well. So Banana Time is trying to break through this Lightbringer with two of the worst units for breaking through Lightbringer. As you might be able to guess, I am not a fan of this choice. Yeah, I mean, Ham just gets completely walled by GI. Right, Guardian Infantry shut out Wedham completely. And with a Tiamat, Lucretia does about as much. So you're really not going to get through this Lightbringer in any meaningful time. And if you use both of these units, like all of their skills and all of their HP getting through Lightbringer, even if you do successfully get through Lightbringer, what's behind it? A Lostum that ignores the Lightbringer. I guess you have 3C, or like Azusa is nice. But then, you know, a D-Heart, which ignores the Lightbringer. So it really feels like it's not worth trying to get through this Lightbringer. Like, these should have both been AoE skills here. And then you just chip with AoE to set up your assassins for free kills. Right, Azusa's hard to assassinate, sure. But, you know, yeah, only troops get to do damage, but if Azusa's at like 40% from getting AoE down, troops will do enough damage. Just Sandseas will kill Azusa from there. So we do have Mass Attack for the black holes. Right, Mass Attack is to stop silence from these black holes. But it really, I mean, it should be, if you want a single target skill, it should be Reaper, right? It should be at least Reaper, Black Hole, Mass Attack. And I honestly wouldn't be opposed to Sanction, Black Hole, Mass Attack, and just no single target on Lucretia. Right, I think having those AoEs to just chip these units for the assassins is much more valuable than single target into Lightbringer. Right, all the single target really stops is just like maximum greed Lancer plays, but as long as Lightbringer's anywhere nearby, that's not gonna be very impactful. And this Wedham is just useless. Right, this Wedham is the least relevant unit on the map. Which, I mean, he was last pick, so like, okay, but still, he had potential to be usable. So I really think that's something that Banana Time will want to consider going forward, is just think about bringing AoE skills in this kind of situation. They should work out better for you. Yeah, you get the guard ignore after a kill. That is true, but I mean, again, look at who you're targeting, right? You're targeting an Anankelmo, you're targeting a Lucretia, right? Holy units with low defense, with, you know, mage and archer troops, right? Like, those aren't the kind of units that you need Annihilation to kill. Basic attack will kill them fine, right? Ham does plenty of damage. Right, your werewolves will just chew through their non-holy troops, and then Ham gets boosted even more against the holy units. Yeah, you'll be fine. And it's not like you can pick the Azusa anyways. Right, you'd have to take a kill on someone, and then hit the Azusa, break her shield, and then you could hit the Azusa to try and kill her with Ham. But that's not gonna happen. Yeah, you can poke Azusa's shield now. You can only get to here with a Lostum for doing it. Right, so you have to grapple onto this forest. No, you can get back, because you can grapple onto the forest, step down, poke the shield, step here, leave. The only issue is it's a bit of an investment to do, right? Yeah, Lostum only has a 1-turn cooldown, but if you put this on cooldown, you're giving like Anankelmo free range to just walk in and black hole your team. You're giving Lucretia free reign to just walk in, black hole your team. So he's going to prioritize this Anankelmo first. This should be able to kill. As long as he steps up into 2 range. Oh, he's just going melee. That works too. So there we go. Get rid of one of the mages. There goes one of the black holes. Didn't even need to crit there. I mean, that's what you get for being Odin with an attack buff. It was kind of close. But yeah. So we get the kill there. That's great. That's a great start. Right, Azusa can't really counter kill this. It really has to be Lucretia, but Lucretia needs to be careful that she doesn't step into D-Heart range. D-Heart is set up to kill her. This is Arcane Battle Garb. Right, so even with Glory of the World, D-Heart will still kill this Lucretia. Wedum debuffs are also active, is something to pay attention to. Since Lucretia actually is going to get hit by Wedum. Right, because Lucretia wanted to counter kill here. Right, wanted to get the immediate counter kill onto Lostum before Lightbringer could step up. She is open for Wedum. Assuming that he can get there. He might not be able to get there because he would have to be able to jump to her. Right, so you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop the sword. Move 3. So Wedum actually can't get there. Right, he needs someone that he can actually jump onto. Despair is on these 3. Clicking the button again. That's actually a huge... This is actually a huge mistake, this game specifically. Last game, it didn't matter that much. Because last game, the only debuff you really need to be scared about was Silence. I guess Moby down, but mostly Silence. This game, there is a guard prevention. Right. There is a guard block on this Azusa that you really want to have this button available for to get rid of. You're still not guaranteed to get rid of it. Right, Azusa does put 4 to 5 debuffs on you. Assuming it's Hammer, it would be 5 debuffs. But having the option is better than not. Right, having the option to get rid of that is better than having a Lightbringer that can't guard for 2 turns. Lucretia is going to need to wait for Puppet Flip to do anything meaningful again. I would have liked to see Puppet rewind itself here, honestly. This Puppet Flip is really, really valuable for Jailer. For getting this Lucretia into position, like, after Azusa disables guard, for example. So I actually would have really liked to see Puppet just resetting itself, getting that available a turn earlier. D-Heart is potentially threatening to hit this Puppet here. 7 move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Is actually threatening to just hit the Lucretia as well. That can be blocked by Sissy. So it's unlikely that he'll actually have an angle on Lucretia. But Puppet is definitely an option, and Puppet's never a bad option. You would probably want to get this Lightbringer in a better position before you go for that, so that you can retreat D-Heart into guard. Unless you're really just all in on the Wedum Despairs landing somewhere meaningful. Yes, there is a black hole here, which I do like. Oh, that is not blocking the Lucretia. That's a dead Lucretia. Lucretia going down here and suddenly Banana's comp looks a lot better, even though it still has to get through this Lightbringer with a Sissy behind it. Maybe it's not that much better. So there's some damage. Sissy can fully reset this. Yeah, we are now open for Black Hole. Right, open for business, and business is good. There it is. Looks like we tried to get some silences. Did get one over here. D-Heart does still have that immunity though. Right, was able to move the D-Heart and then get the mass attack off on the first turn. So D-Heart's still silence immune, Lucretia's still silence immune. Wedum does get silenced. Wedum isn't the worst unit to see this happen on. If you're Banana Time, you at least only have one turn off. Yep, that's Lightbringer doing Lightbringer things. Anyways, time for Lightbringer to get 100% HP back. And then wall out the Wedum afterwards. Just Lightbringer things. D-Heart will be at 100% HP as soon as he moves, so this damage into D-Heart is completely irrelevant. He can still very easily kill off Lucretia. As long as he crits, which isn't guaranteed. It is a D-Heart. Yep, there we go, you're full HP again. It does mean that you don't get the act again, but Jailer has turn priority anyways, so And stun the Azusa. Yeah, you can get a guaranteed stun onto Azusa and then move up to guard. There's the crit. Just barely kills. God, D-Heart, you are bad. But there we go. He is gone. Or she is gone. And there we go. There's the stun into Azusa. Alright. Enjoy your ad break while this is happening, because Mr. Symboli decided to bully you. Goodbye. Anyways. Yeah, D-Heart stole an attack buff in order to do that. Because he wouldn't have had attack buff thanks to Strike. Right, Strike would not have replaced the mass attack buff. That is something to be careful of. For all of you who happen to be able to hear me right now, which is probably not many of you. Get absolutely owned, idiots. None of you can hear me right now. Alright. So it's Azusa versus the world. Oh, Loomis can. Yeah, some people don't get ads. Some people do. Kill Puppet. Yes, Lucretia can potentially kill Puppet. That being said, this Puppet's a reset bot, right? Which is helpful. Resetting Sissy Act again, it's resetting 3C here after you burn it, hitting Lightbringer. Yeah, it gets you Despair procs. That being said, I mean, Wedum does not have a target right now. You actually have to be very careful as well about how you hit this Azusa. Because this Azusa is going to be just free hitting your Lightbringer. Right, so if you're not careful about how you hit this Azusa, and now you can't hit the Puppet anyways, but if you're not careful about how you're hitting this Azusa, then you'll just, she'll hit your Lightbringer, get one stack, you'll hit the Azusa, and then she'll hit the Lightbringer again, get the shield back, go back to full HP. And you're in bad shape. I do think killing the puppet was probably had value there, for certain. Because it is just a nice reset bot. But I don't think it changed much of the game. I still think Jailer has the advantage, whether that puppet was reset or whether that puppet was picked off or not. I think this is still very much Jailer's game to win. Lou does have a breeze, so could have gone here and just it will wet him. What? He's in there. There he is. There he goes. Well, that's annihilation, I guess. Lightbringer is now able to just discipline this sword, get literally all of her HP back, because she will do so much damage to it. Yeah, wow. I guess she won't get all of her HP back, but she will get most of it. Back to 70%. Nice annihilation there. Yikes. Yeah, heal reversing Azusa would have been very nice. Because then if she does get the shield, she just dies for doing it. Although, I mean, you would deal 20 damage to the Azusa. Well, 40. You deal 40 damage to the Azusa with Wedum, right? Because Wedum himself would do no damage, and then werewolves into monks would do no damage. But yeah, at this point, Banana really does have to fog. That is the win condition, is fog before Azusa kills your entire team. Because Azusa is about to stop this Lightbringer from guarding, and then Azusa is going to kill this Wedum, and then Azusa is kill this Lucrete, or going to kill the D-Heart or something, right? Like, oh boy. That was not the skill that it should have been. Huh? Why was that not this one? Why did you use this skill? I mean, I guess I get that you wanted to kill. Right, you wanted to get one life here, second life here, so this resets itself. But also, if you use this skill, you actually get the first life. And also, you get the guard prevention. And now you have to use the skill anyways. Nope, that's a basic attack. That doesn't kill. You had 2 monks. In what universe did that kill? What's going on? Azusa is not a ranged unit. Sometimes you can forget that. I can understand people sometimes forgetting that Azusa is not a ranged unit when you're so used to using monks and seeing the number 2 down here. Right, you see the number 2 and you go, oh yeah, holy unit, 2 range, hit him at range. Not a ranged unit though. Is actually just a melee unit with ranged troops. Heaven's Guard would have been nice for Lightbringer, terrible for Wedum. Alright, well here's another hit into Lightbringer. Yeah, that sure was a hit into Lightbringer. Actigan is not quite available for this Azusa. And again, I think it's more likely Jailer's not jebaited by the range. It's much more likely Jailer really wants to keep this skill up. Right? They really want to keep this 3C available and use that to get the Lightbringer KO. Right? They don't want this going on a 5-turn cooldown. but that is so unreasonably greedy to do, and now you're gonna lose your Azusa shield for it. You can get the Azusa shield back, except D-Heart's skill is up right now. Yeah, that actually just... That actually ends it, doesn't it? Because you break the shield with Wedum, step back into guard, and the D-Heart gets this kill. That was so unnecessarily greedy. Both times, that was so greedy. This Wedum should not be alive. We are going to game 3, yep. Somehow, we're going to game 3. This Wedum should not be alive, right? The line that I kind of would have liked to see was 3C into the Lightbringer, turn off the guard, kill the Wedum. Right? Then you have your shield. You don't have to worry about D-Heart because you have your shield. As soon as D-Heart breaks your shield, you get it right back. You go back to full HP. You're fine. Now, Sissy's gonna get stunned in the fall. And it's Lightbringer and a puppet, and the puppet's also dead. So it's just Lightbringer. And somehow, Bananatime is actually going to be able to get through the Lightbringer with this comp. That almost killed, but unfortunately, it was not meant to be. That being said, Puppet will now kill it. Goodbye, Wedum. No, wait. No, this just couldn't guard because it didn't hit the skill. That's right, Azusa didn't ever 3C. I thought this couldn't guard because Azusa had 3C'd it, but it couldn't guard because it had disciplined last turn. Why are we resetting Sissy? Sissy is dead. Why are we not moving Puppet here to block the D-Heart in? Why is it... Or I guess D-Heart is still stuck. Yeah, that's Sky Tile, that's right. 14 dimension chess. I mean, it will take like 8 turns for this Lightbringer to get killed. But on the bright side, Bananatime has 8 turns to kill this Lightbringer. Wow. That is not the outcome that I expected to see, but... Bananatime found the line, right? The line was offered, and Bananatime found the line that got him out of that won that game. So there we go. I do think Bananatime needs to change the pick ban, though. I don't think that pick ban's gonna win again. I think that was kind of taking advantage of openings presented by Jailer more than the pick ban giving opportunities. That being said, you could actually do the same pick ban and just change the skill selection. It would be a very different game. So that is an option. We do have a water map, and there are McLeans on both sides of the field. Cool. I wonder if that means... Oh, there's not a McLean on that side of the field anymore. Okay. There is an Archon now who is alright against this box. Ooh, Lightbringer ban. Okay. So Jailer's gonna force Banana to go full aggressive this time. But that does open up the Zerida. That has been the first ban every time before because I think both these players are assuming that the Zerida can just one-tap Lightbringer. So they've both been banning Zerida, picking Lightbringer. Gintoki, because of the double healer ban, right? Jailer, or Bananatime really wanted to guarantee this Zerida kill, right? So if the Zerida can't 100-0 Lightbringer, now you can do some chip damage to her with other units, right? That can't be healed off anymore, and then Zerida can do it. Zerida can easily kill from like 70%, 80%. Wedum's gonna try and get it done after Zerida opens it up as well. We do know this is a Boots Wedum, so his damage output isn't the greatest. I I am assuming this Gintoki's Heart of Gaia because they typically are. But I don't know that for certain. If this is a Heart of Gaia Gintoki, that's pretty good at not dying to the Wedum after Lightbringer gets cracked by Zerida. Especially a Boots Wedum. Kelmo's showing up again. Was very good in game 1, very bad in game 2. Let's see how it goes this time. Definitely a lot of pressure, though, from just a mage with 5 range versus no tank. That being said, that is the third pick Matthew on a map where he can engage on turn 1 versus a healerless comp. We do have Iron Blood, so there is potential for some combat healing. But this is getting really scary from Bananatime here. Epsilon rounds it out, is an okay unit to round it out with. Yeah, Matthew is really nice against Iron Blood for dispelling the movement buff that she applies. We'll see if this is a Goddess tier Iron Blood. It was picked in response to the Matthew, but also I think all the other responses Jailer has available were already gone. So I can't really call it from here whether this is Goddess tier or not to dispel Matthew buffs, or to dispel Matthew debuffs at the very least. But yeah, that's a lot of AoE damage that can come out pretty fast. Kelmo's a little bit slower than the rest of them. Like Matthew, Zerida, right? That's a lot of damage very early on. Wedum, a lot of damage very early on. Versus a team that really doesn't have a lot of healing against it. Yeah, Azusa, I mean, look at your choices though, Raven. Azusa or Epsilon. Okay. Right, which of those two are you going to pick against a team that has like 4 AoE units and one that sticks unbuffable and takes your buffs? I guess Azusa, at least she heals. Oh yeah, this is an annihilation game. This is an annihilation game, because again, the plan is Zerida gets through this Lightbringer. Last time, there wasn't a clean way through the Lightbringer, so the annihilation wasn't very impactful. I mean, like we saw last time, the annihilation hit Lightbringer for 40% of her HP, right? Like it killed Guardian Infantry from 80% and then did like 20% to Lightbringer. So it was really not impactful at all last time. This game though is very different, right? The Zerida makes this game very different. Not the highest of attacks on Zerida, does have the skill, so it is going to be Stinger, it is going to be Crit Accessory, almost certainly, but not the most attack. There's no telling on Gintoki. We know that the Gintoki is Overlord or Heart of Gaia, but who knows? Wrong skills on who? On Zerida? This AoE is fine on Zerida. That's definitely not an incorrect choice. Because depending on how you time this, you could very easily have Zerida alive after Matthew has engaged, after she has killed Lightbringer, and after she has engaged, at which point all these units are at 30%, and then you can just AoE and clean up some kills. Get Act Again block on the Gintoki as well, so he doesn't get mad at you for cleaning up those kills. I have no qualms with this skill. I can see where second attack skill would be valuable, just like a Sword Soul. Oh my. Oh, when did that happen? This guy. Scum. Alright, well, that was free. And again, there's nothing Jailer can do about this. Matt got a Tenuous Breeze on turn 1. Cool, I guess you're playing from 80% HP now. Deal with it. Your units are at 80%, you don't get to respond to that. And you lost your Moby buffs on both of these. Right, and now Matt can just sit over here, he can faction buff next turn, and then go in with strike after that. Or he can just strike in next turn, right? He still has infinite range thanks to that Tenyos. Yeah, he didn't hit the Gintoki. He couldn't have hit the Gintoki. The only way to hit the Gintoki is to strike, and that would just be throwing away the Matthew, which is definitely not worth it. So that does get Gintoki active for free, which is definitely relevant this game, right? This Gintoki, this is basically the like one unit that Jailer has, right? Jailer has a Gintoki. Jailer doesn't have much else, but Jailer has a Gintoki. So it's definitely not irrelevant that the Gintoki is already at max stacks. That's kind of the unit that can win the game for Jailer. A lot of these other ones are not going to be as impactful as they would like to be. Right, Ironblood losing her attack buff already just does not have very much damage at this point. Lost attack buff here. Lost Moby buff here. Yeah, I mean, you can just team up and hit the Gintoki over and over again like you have the mage to deal with Gintoki. So, like, I'm not saying Gintoki wins this game outright. Definitely not. But if you're going to win this game, it will be because of Gintoki. Right? If Jailer is able to win, it will be because the Gintoki popped off. Whether the Gintoki will pop off or not is still very much a question. There's Portal. So Matt can potentially strike on top of the Portal. I think he still ends up... Oh! No, that doesn't work either. If he strikes here, then he ends up over here. Yeah, I honestly don't know how well Matthew combos with Portal. Feels like it shouldn't be that meaningfully. I mean, you already have the Tenuous Breeze, so you could already get to here anyways. I guess it means that next turn, you can, like, strike on the Portal, teleport to here, jump in here. So that's pretty cool. Right, hit the whole team again, put them all to 60%. But it shouldn't be too meaningful this turn. I think this Matthew's just buffing this turn, right? Buffs the Zerata, buffs the Wedum. Wedum range is right here. He can move to there. The other thing to keep in mind also, with the fact that there's no healer here, that Matthew just put all these units to 80%, if anything dies, ever, these are free jumps for Wedum, right? These units cannot ever get above this 80%. They're always going to be stuck at less than 100%. If any of them get marked by Wedum, which is guaranteed to happen if anything dies, it's just a free engage anywhere Wedum wants on anyone he wants. So that is problematic if you are on Team Jailer here. Banatime moving these two units first just to maximize duration on the faction buff, which is important for both of these units, right? Both of these units, because they have 20% boosts, right? They don't have chivalry style 30% boosts. They do have to be very careful when using faction buffs. Goodbye, Anakelmo. You're still in the danger zone. It might not actually be goodbye. It is not. Forest OP. Forest OP and Warlock's bad. Could you not have teleported back if you land on the portal again? Instead of just being out here in no man's land? I thought you could have teleported back. You can't teleport back. Oh. Can't port twice. Okay. Oh, then this actually does work with... Or this would work with Matthew then. If you can't port twice, then you can strike here as Matthew, come out this portal, and then when you jump back, you land on the portal again. Okay. Unless it counts that as a separate action. I don't use Anakelmo. I have no idea how. I have no idea of the specifics of Anakelmo. I don't use her and I haven't seen her enough. I think I was saying something about how both these units have to be careful. Yeah, both of these units, you know, definitely like having this faction buff for the extra defenses. It's great. But you are not allowed to engage on the last turn of your buff. Period. You cannot do it. Don't do it. Right? If you're on the last turn of your buff with both of these units, if you click their engage button, they just lose their attack buff. It will not get refreshed. I'm pretty sure everyone should know about that at this point. But if you somehow don't, that is a thing. Don't go in on the last turn of faction buff with characters like Wedum, Zerida, Ares, right? Anyone who has a 20% boost. You cannot go in on the last turn of their buff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This does not save you at all. If Jailer wants your Adenkelmo dead, she is dead. That being said, do you really want to give up a free unit for Jailer, right? Do you really want to come here, kill the Adenkelmo, get counter-killed by Epsilon, and then get Wedum stacks everywhere? Surely not. Surely you are not in the market for that. Explosion here as opposed to Black Hole as well. I guess you don't have Black Hole because you brought Oracle. You have to bring this for the move again effect. Bananatime's still kind of offering it. Still baiting the option of Jailer just coming in and killing the Adenkelmo. This Adenkelmo can also just click the explosion at any point she wants, right? Like this portal is right now in range of these two. As units start moving up, this portal gets more and more dangerous. Ooh, there's a Tenuous Breeze. Not a great one, but one. Wait, he has this... Why did he not click this when he had the unbuffable to get rid of it so that he would have stacks right now? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. This is a really tempting Matthew jump. I'm surprised this Matthew jump has not been taken. Wow. That is a really tempting Matthew jump. Surely I can't be the only one who sees this tile here and just like quivers with anticipation at the Matthew, looks at Matthew, looks at tile, and just starts shaking. Right? Like surely someone else. Surely someone else is just as excited to do this as I am. Why are we not going in, Matthew? Lewis. It's so free. It's so free, Bananatime. Just do it before the Suzusa comes down and gets a free kill for no reason. Lightbringer only has one stack of her talent as well. You actually have a chance to dispel guard against Lightbringer, which you usually never do. Don't lose the game by just playing unbelievably passively. Come on, do it. Press the button. Now you even get to dispel this breeze. Ooh, so good. It's gonna be so much damage into these units as well. Right, because keep in mind, all of this damage was from an unbuffed Matthew hitting not adjacent. Banana playing freed from desire. Oh my gosh. Truly the better man. Well, currently Azusa is threatening the Wedum, which you do not want to give up for free to Azusa, so he's gonna go walk over there. Please. At the end of the turn, that's fine. You couldn't get punished for this anyways, but if you wanted to wait till the end of the turn, that's okay, right? See what buffs come out of Tenyos and whatnot, and then dispel them. I get it. Just go in this turn. Do it. Your return is off cooldown when you click strike. There's no reason not to go in this turn. Jailer is still giving you the greatest jump of all time. Don't want to jump next to the Gintoki? That's fine. Walk to this forest, jump here, hit these two with the adjacent boost. It's so free. It's right there. It's free real estate. Look at these tiles. They're free real estate. Get in there. Purchase. He has the portal, Straw. If you strike on the portal and then return here, you should just jump back here, right? Or would you jump back here? Even if you jump back here, just... he will have return. Return is up. He has strike. You jump at the far portal. Oh, okay. No. Ah. I still think it was worth it. Return to where you were after the strike. So you would return to this portal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So you could have also returned to... Where was he? He was here. You could have returned to this tile as well. I mean, you hit the entire team that doesn't have any healing. And then you can jump back to the city wall, right? Don't want to jump back to the portal? Jump back to the city wall. You think these units are going to kill you from 60% HP if you're on the city wall after you've dispelled all their buffs? You're fine. You're fine. And then you get to go in again right now, right? One of these units comes up, like, doesn't kill you, and then you get to go in again. So good. Okay, endurance formation, gonna heal them up a little bit. Get them some troop healing. Over there... Why there, though? I'm glad that we jumped, but why are we jumping there? It does so much more damage here. I guess you get to come back to this forest here. Ah, but it's so tempting. This was so tempting. I guess restraint is valuable, though. Right? There is value in restraint. Matthew is safe because he was restrained. He did dispel this breeze, yes. But I'm still, it looked so good. It looked so good. Gintoki gonna heal himself up, more importantly, get rid of this unbuffable. So that he can reset those stacks. And if you're assuming that one of your units is gonna die here anyways, then, yeah. You want to be able to get those stacks, you're going to get the act again anyways. Like, this Ironblood does not have a lot of HP. This Ironblood's almost dead. You could have had this Ironblood, like, in Wedum sword range, right? If you jump here, get the 30% extra damage onto Ironblood, get her down to like 15%, that gets really close to Wedum sword just picking her off. Wants to have buff block up when he kills something. Yeah. Which, I mean, you know, from here you get to jump in again next turn, right? Because you can move to here, jump there. So you still get to jump in, hit all these units, right? You get to buff block Gintoki again. So, I think it'll still happen. I think it could have happened a little bit quicker, but we're still going to get there in the end. Auto-cal mode not positioned in order to take her own portal, unfortunately. Yeah, we're still not going to click this Lightbringer 1 cost. We were very, very happy to click this skill when it didn't do anything. Now that it does something, we're not going to click it anymore. I don't get that either. But that's the world we live in. This Lightbringer can't reset guard next turn because she just does not want to click Light Flow. Yeah, I mean, that's just a mistake. The first time it actually did make some amount of sense, right? Because by not clicking it the first time, you have it available now when you really need it. But now you really needed it, and you still didn't use it. So why did you save it the first time if you weren't going to use it here? You also lost the conversion for Lightbringer here, right? She lost her int to defenses conversion, so she's actually very squishy. Very squishy. All her buffs are susceptible to being dispelled. Yeah, Banana is playing this very well, right? Because, again, if it were me, I would have jumped with Matthew right there last turn. Maybe I would have lost for doing that, right? I might have just lost immediately for jumping with Matthew. Whereas Banana is being much more cautious, keeping the Matthew around, not just throwing him away for no reason. Right, Banana's playing this very well, and Jailer really just can't get in as a result. Right, Jailer can do absolutely nothing to this comp, except just sit here and get bombarded by Matthew. That being said, Banana, if these units are going in, they need to do it this turn, right? Maybe you can probably get away with not having an attack buff with all these units being so low, but you're not going to harm the Gintoki without an attack buff, and you're not going to do very much with these AoEs. Well, better late than never, I guess, except now you get unbuffable again, so now it's worse. That's just worse. Because now, Matthew goes in and you're unbuffable again, and you still can't guard. This is actually worse than not clicking the skill. She has immune to unbuffable, Matt's gonna dispel that. Oh no, she gets 5 stacks. Okay. She did RNG the immunity, she will be okay. Zerida can no longer engage. But, well, I mean, Zerida can no longer engage with AoE. Zerida can still probably engage with 3C, but Zerida cannot AoE anymore. So this is something we'll have to see if Banana Time gets punished for. Is they've been playing very conservatively, and that's been doing very well for them. But they have to be careful that they aren't too conservative. Right, they have to be careful that they don't lose the game by not doing anything. Right, by being too passive with these, fast-paced, aggressive units. Gintoki is open. No. No way. Ironblood, not worth it. Oh my god, that's another Tenyo's Breeze on the Matthew. Sure, why not? Portal is not yet off cooldown for Banana Time. Is there a star difference here? 4 turns. 4 turns, no. This portal was just available. Huh. Did Banana Time put his portal down a turn late to get it further forward? That must be what happened, but no, I don't think so. This Onenkelmo did act again by going through portal. That's what it is. Onenkelmo went through portal, got the act again. That's why her portal's up already, whereas Bananatime's is not. Yep, you got it, 404. That's it. All right, Matthew, are you going in? Yeah, he now has to faction buff these units because both of them didn't do anything. Right, the Zerida can get a lot of stuff done without a buff here into 60% HP Lightbringer. The Wedum really would need that buff. Right, unless you're using Wedum to kill one of these units, which you don't really need to use Wedum for. Wedum definitely needs that buff. And hey, you have a Tenuous Breeze, so it's not like Matthew will have any difficulty, you know, jumping here next turn. So, that's pretty cool. Gin is a normal man right now. Gin is also hiding behind as many of his other units as he can. He is cowardly hiding behind all his friends where he cannot be harmed. Every unit here is dedicating themselves to not letting them hit Gintoki. Zeus is going to try and make something happen with turn priority. At the very least, this Zeus is going to just break Mech Knights. Right, I think that's what this Zeus is trying to do, is just get rid of the Mech Knights. AoE here is forced for Bananatime to hit the Azusa, by the way, because there is no portal. There is no portal, so Onenkelmo only had 2 range. Could not break shield. So AoEs instead. Again, I think Azusa just wants these Mech Knights gone. Right, get rid of this HP so that he has just a little bit less mobility. I guess you could hit the Onenkelmo, hit the Epsilon. Nope, just gonna take an AoE and then return home, and then take another AoE and then die. I mean, if you were gonna make that move, you need to do something with it, right? You had to try it. Gintoki actually gets all his stacks here before the unbuffable goes down because Matt just killed everyone. So, there we go. It's now Gintoki versus the world. Gintoki will be in guard here. This is free. Or not. What the? Damn. Mech Knight's on a forest, huh? Well, that's not great, because you lost all your HP. Hey there, Wedum. What's up, buddy? Imagine meeting you here. Didn't use this skill, so yep, that's still a thing. That despair is still here. Uh-oh. Oopsies. That is also not something you like to see on a Gintoki. Okay. Yeah, Banana played that last game excellently. I think I don't think we should have had a game 3. Okay. I don't think we should have had a game 3. But with Banana got given the opportunity to take it to game 3 and they really stepped up. Right. They made a great adjustment from game 2. That was a fantastic adjustment from game 2. Game 2 was despair for Banana. Game 3, they were in control the entire time. That was fantastic. No complaints about how Banana played game 3. It really felt like there was just nothing that Jailer could do at any point to accomplish anything. That was a great game 3. I think game 2, there are some things to look at to improve on and get some better consistency so you can get to that game 3 more often. But in that clutch up moment, they came through. So congratulations to Bananatime for moving on. And Jailer, it was close. You almost had it. So good luck next season. I'm sure we'll be seeing you again. And that's it for now. I believe that's the last game for today, so we'll have more tomorrow from other people. So I'll see you around.